What's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Will back with another video. Now today is gonna be our mini camp and Browns OTA recap video. So obviously Browns have went through voluntary OTAs and mandatory mini camp. And we're just gonna go over the topics just because it's kind of like all like a small thing throughout the off season. It's not as big as like training camp and stuff as far as that. Mandatory mini camp is kind of important. Voluntary OTAs is voluntary for a reason. But I wanted to just make it one little video of just bundling everything in. I might do a second video on this, going into like what's my expectations for training camp and what we hope to see and hope to hear. Now, as you guys know, hit that like and sub button. We're doing a giveaway at 100 subs. We're doing a giveaway. All you need to do to enter is follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, comment done, and of course sub here, join the gang, and we're gonna get locked in. That's all you gotta do is just comment done. Make sure you following and subbed everywhere. Enter in. We're gonna give away a Browns jersey. Now, to get back into it. So Browns have voluntary OTAs. One of the big things that came out of voluntary OTAs, Myles Garrett wasn't there. Nick Chubb wasn't there. And a couple people asked me my opinion and my take on them not being there. I would say they're voluntary for a reason. I don't know how old some of you guys can be. Everybody come to the video with different ages. But if my job told me it's voluntary to come in on my off day, I probably wouldn't come in, you know. Now, Myles is a leader, but Myles being there and doing a couple of team drills probably is taken away from him actually putting the hard work that he actually puts in during the off season. Because who knows how crazy these guys' workouts can be. And I guarantee you Myles' workout for himself is probably a little bit better than a team constructed workout for the team. So I have no problem with Myles and Nick Chubb not being there. Those guys are seasoned vets. I could see if it was like Cedric Tillman or Perrion or Deshaun. I could see if it was like one of those guys. Nah, I'm not saying Deshaun's not a seasoned vet, but Deshaun's a quarterback, so it's a little bit different. But especially when you're defensive end, it's no need for you to really be there. Myles' job is not going to change no matter what the coordinator or who's the other people around him. He's going to be rushing the passer and stop and run. Pretty simple as that. Now we're going to have different, ways to create pressure, and that's all stuff he learned to mandatory minicamp, which is why mandatory minicamp is mandatory. Now, just to get back from what I could tell and from what I could see with training camp or OTAs, I seen that Watson looks in pretty good shape. He looks in good football shape. That's one of the things I did say last year. Even though I didn't have a channel, one of my big things was he even admitted to not being in shape. You know, he admitted to not being in game shape and being up to game speed. And it looks like he's putting his body in the right amount of shape to get into doing that. So that's one thing will say I definitely noticed about him, that the whole team really looks in pretty good shape. Hopefully we get some new uniforms or some new jerseys. They did post a couple of pictures of the new guys in their jerseys, Elijah Moore, Cedric Tillman, DTR. They, uploaded a couple of videos. Now, I'm a big fan of the white face mask. You guys comment down below if you like white face mask or brown, or would you prefer like a black or something like that? I'm a big fan of the white face mask. I think they're going to come out with an alternate orange jersey this year, just because DUI always wear it. So I do think it makes a lot of sense for them to come out and do that. Now, what I will say is going into mandatory minicamp, we have heard a lot of positive things. We had that incident where a couple of players been getting robbed. I might drop a separate video on that. It is a little bit of a topic, but not to here nor there. Again, in a mandatory minicamp. So Watson, as you guys probably have heard, has looked absolutely amazing. He's looked the best that he's looked in a Browns jersey. People out there comparing him to Tom Brady and like really saying like the ball's not touching the ground. Last season when they had, training camp, one of the reports was that the defense was ahead of the offense, and people kind of like brushed it off because, it's a new quarterback. And then on top of that, the defense has been there together. Now, What I would say about that is I'm guessing the defensive line and the offensive line went pretty easy on the D line because the D line was absolutely putrid. So that's what I'm gonna assume on why that was. But now in mandatory minicamp, the offense has been killing it. Marquise Godwin has really showed up a lot. Not Nick Chubb, what's his name? Elijah Moore has really popped a lot. All the wide receivers look really good. Now, that is another thing that could be a product to Deshaun Watson. Watson, a better quarterback makes the wide receivers better. Elijah Moore mentioned in a quote that, hey, when you see Deshaun out there looking at the playbook 3-4 times and we're in Puerto Rico, it makes you want to work harder. So I think the chemistry is one of the biggest things I can tell is a massive difference from last year and this year. It's just the chemistry between like Watson and I know it's just videos and I know it's just like minicamp, but they look really in tune and connected, him and Elijah Moore out there. And him and Donovan Peoples-Jones already really had a connection. He spends a lot of in the offseason with Coop. I've noticed him and Coop go to a lot of different concerts and events together. So I'm assuming that their chemistry is already there. But last year, when I remember it, Watson had a good chemistry on the field with Donovan Peoples-Jones. And in training camp and in minicamp, it's looking like Elijah Moore is his kind of like go-to comfortable guy. Now, I could be wrong. Like I said, it's just practice. Who knows? But it looks like him and Elijah Moore has a really good connection going for themselves. And if he got a good connection with the top 3 of his receivers, and he already, Jordan Atkins and Njoku, that bodes pretty well for those guys in their career and their success. Now, as Browns fans, one thing I will say is I know the wide receiver core and the offense is looking good. Minicamp is no pass rush, as you guys know. OTAs is no pass rush. But that's not really for that. It's really to get all the plays and the playbook installed. Now, the defense probably had I think I heard the second or third day they had a better day. First day, I don't think the ball touched the ground one time. I think Greg Newsome was the only person that came up with a play, which is really bad on the defense. But, I mean, it's not like they were throwing a wide open receivers. Watson was literally blanketing guys and just dropping a ball in the net. And, I mean, it's going to be like that when you have a really good quarterback, but it's still kind of unacceptable to not let the ball touch the ground for an entire practice. It's insane, by the way. But not to here nor there. It is no pass rush, and they're trying to construct the defense to kind of be better than the offense. Not the defense, but the defensive line to be the anchor of the team as far as defensively. So I'm not hitting the panic button too soon on that. I will say that the defense, as long as it was kind of the scheme with Jim Schwartz, and we'll get into this a little bit more down the road, is, Joe Woods had a lot of confusing things, and it was a lot of confusion. But you got to get complicit, not complicit, I'll probably use the wrong word, but you got to get complex when you don't have talent out there. Joe Woods is probably good with non-talented guys. When you got Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, Greg Newsome, Darius Smith, you just go out there and play football. Some of the best defenses in the NFL, they do about 3 good things, but they're really freaking good at it. And I will say that I think the defense should be fine. Like I said, the best player isn't affecting the game on offense and defense, like when they're out there playing the 7-on-7s. But it is telling that the wide receivers is getting open. Because if you remember last year, on the offensive side of the football, getting separation was one of our biggest problems in a lot of games. Like if they shut Coop down, nobody else was really getting separation unless Donovan Peoples-Jones or Njoku was making a contested catch. So the fact that they're getting open a little bit better on good, decent corners, I will say that's very nice. But yeah, I really do like everything I'm hearing out of camp. I really do like. You're not hearing a lot of picks. I'm not seeing a lot of picks. I think I seen 1 pick out of the entire last 4 weeks of Deshaun being there. So that's really telling. Now, I don't know if that's a lot on the defense, but I think I only seen 1 pick. I think Delpit picked them off or somebody like that. I don't really remember. But Like I said, not to here nor there. We also hear good things out of Cedric Tillman. Him and Josh Dobbs been having a good connection. So the preseason's running around the corner, probably about 60 days away. So that should be something to look out for the preseason. Josh Dobbs and Cedric Tillman's connection. Hopefully Cedric Tillman can find himself to be the 5th or wide receiver instead of the 6th. Him and David Bell probably be duking out the last guy to get those last bit of targets. But yeah, that'd be pretty much it. We've been hearing good things out of OTAs. We've been hearing Donovan Peoples-Jones looking amazing. So that D-Hop train has kind of dialed down a lot with Donovan Peoples-Jones improving and impressing people at camp, impressing Andrew Berry and company. So we shall see. You guys comment down below what y'all thoughts on training camp and mini camp and OTAs. How much weight do you put into it? How much stock do you put into it? I know it's practice. I know we don't like getting our hopes up, but it is very telling to hear that the offense is doing really good. We haven't had a good offense in a long time, so it's really good to hear that we have that the offense looks like it could be really promising. Because we have the potential to be a top 10 offense. We got the potential to be a top 10 offense, a top 15 defense, and we just need a couple of our superstar players to take us over the top. So, you guys comment down below. It's your boy Will. Like I said, man, we're doing 100 sub giveaway. Browns jersey we're going to give away. Probably going to give away just a standard regular Browns jersey. Once I start improving and getting more subs, I'm going to give away a ticket to a game. I'm going to give away, probably at my 1,000 sub mark, I'll buy one of y'all a ticket to a Browns game. Hopefully we can get that before the season ends so I can get y'all one of those good playoff games because you know we going to the offs this year. But hit that sub button, hit that like button. It's your boy Will, and I'm out. Peace.